With us today, unfortunately without video, but by audio, is Mario Masciullo. Mario has been a good friend of mine for, I think, almost 20 years. He's a writer and a reporter, quite known in Italy. He has traveled all over the world, and he has covered my publication, eTurboNews, for the last 15, 20 years from Italy. And he's currently stuck in his apartment in Rome, and he has some incredible feedback and is ready to answer your questions. Welcome aboard, Mario. Good morning or good evening your time. Mario?
Yes.
Now we can hear you. Welcome again, Mario. We have our audience. So this, you guys know we're live, right? And we're talking here from Honolulu. We have our tech team actually in Spain on the Canarian Islands, and we have Mario now in Rome. So we're all together, and we have our attendees and our Facebook friends watching us. Everyone, again, welcome. Here's Mario, and giving us a story from his lockdown in Rome. Welcome, Mario.
Thank you very much. I'm very sorry for these technical problems.
Mario, one more thing to make it easier. You might want to
lower the volume.
Yeah, or lower the volume. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, I lowered. Can you hear me all right now?
Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Buongiorno.
I'm very sorry for this technical problem. Anyway, well, as you announced, I am secluded in this apartment, like many, almost all the city is like that, and I'm enjoying somehow my forced stay at home, and I'm doing quite a lot of things, and it's useful in some ways, and so disgraceful in other ways. The subject being how is the situation in Rome? I would say that Rome is one of the luckiest cities in Italy because it had a minor number of infections, and there is a city in a suburb of Rome which is miraculous because no one has been contacted, and it has become a medical case study because being in nearby to Rome, nobody has been contacted or infected. Anyway, the situation here is now quite under control, I would say, because the medical authorities have been quite sufficient in controlling whatever it has climbed from the days of when it started. The COVID-19 pandemic in Italy started in almost at the end of January, and when two Chinese people arrived in Rome in Milan, from Wuhan, and they started to spread the virus in Italy. So from there, it all went the way it is now. And as I said, Rome has been hit, I would say, quite late compared to the north. The north has been a locked right area for since the end of January, and luckily enough, it was just after the VIT exhibition, travel exhibition was on. I mean, the travel exhibition ended in 19th of January. January. And at the end of January, it started the sea in the North Italy, in the first red district. So what happened after? I mean, slowly the situation moved to the central area, and in the Adriatic coast of Rimini, Bologna, and Piacenza, and all that. and slowly ran down to Rome, and but Rome wasn't really much hit at that time. And a phenomenon started when the north was locked down by the president of the prime minister. A rush of people of the south living in Milan or in the north, they had a sort of exodus all in one time and flashed down to the south, Sicily, Apulia, and Calabria. So there they brought the virus to the situation that now the immunity of the regions has been it was disrupted.
So basically, I'm sorry.
So the whole thing has been controlled by the medical government with a lot of difficulties, because in the beginning we were not, the government was not equipped with all the medical equipments which was required, and many casualties were brought into rushed into hospitals without even having the ventilator to help them to breathe. This, of course, caused quite a number of deaths, casualties, which perhaps could have been saved, but the situation was such that the organization was lacking. But of course, this has slowly been recovered, and we had loss of help from other countries in equipments, doctors. I mean, doctors were brought in from Cuba and from Albania, and people serving the hospitals were really in a great health problem themselves. We had about 79 or 86 doctors who died because of contacts, and also other people working in hospitals. Now the problem is very much under control, but the situation is not improving, or at least slightly improving. But of course, with a lot of precautions which must be taken. The population has no access to masks. Because the producers are not the Italian producers have been sending all the masks and the gloves, etc., to France and other countries at the time of beginning, when the whole thing started, you know. So now we are depending to have this taken from China. Lately, just yesterday, they arrived from Dubai, and you know, sort of a charity being given to the Italian government. Some by request of the government, some companies have turned their activity into face mask producers, and others doing the mechanic activities have been also turned their activity to produce ventilators for the hospitals for breathing, and so the situation is naturally much better health-wise. Hospitals have been built in the travel trade fairs areas because of no more rooms in the hospitals. So what the government is promising that I mean the daily bulletin information we get from the Ministry of Health quite encouraging somehow because there is an improvement progressing, but there's no really much certainty of when this is going to end in Italy, and there are many sort of information which I mean information are changing every day.
I mean, Mario, thank you so much for all Rondon. I wanted to just add a few technical, a little bit technical feedback for our listeners. You can actually, next to your name, when you click on participants, you see a way to raise your hand. When you raise your hand, we know you may have a question for Mario, and we can give you the microphone. So feel free to do this. We're trying to keep this interactive. Okay. Also, Mario, I have just a little bit of statistics, and this is actually as of now, as of this moment. Italy had 135,586 cases of detected corona virus in people. Today, you had 3,039 more cases, what is only about 3%. And in the worst time, just about a week ago, this number was about 15% or 12% more. So the numbers are going down, you're correct. And I think this is a good sign. Unfortunately, Italy had 17,127 people who passed away. This is more people than any country in the world, even China, what is of course not very good. You had today 604 more people that died. Now, if you compare this with Spain, what is, I think, the epicenter in Europe right now, the numbers are very similar in what is seen in Spain. But if you look at the United States, where this virus is just coming in, we had 386,194 people that are infected. We had 19,190 more, what is double the amount in percentage from Italy. Of course, we have more people than Italy. So we are even more in the hot spot, and we have a big country. So within our country, there are other hotspots that are even quite a bit higher than any of the numbers you've ever seen in Italy, like New York. Now, when you put this in perspective in regards to the number of population, Italy has 2,243 cases per 1 million people in the country. Spain is beating you with 3,005 cases, and the United States has 1,167. So we're lower than you. But then we had Germany, what is 4,985. So the virus definitely hasn't disappeared, but you can see a trend, at least percentage-wise, it's going down. Now, when it comes to fatalities, the death per 1 million people, Italy is at 283, Spain is at 297, so it's worse. And the United States right now is only at 37, but Germany, with similar numbers of cases, only has 23 deaths per 1 million. And I think, if I'm reading this correctly, it speaks for the standard of the healthcare system in that country, that numbers of those that unfortunately pass away when they are low. And so it looks like Germany very much has it under control. But Italy, you guys have 12 times the number of deaths per million. And in the US, we also have almost 50% more per million that passed away so far on this virus. Do you think, Mario, this is because initially, when this virus progressed, the healthcare system was completely overburdened, and many people may have passed away because the healthcare system couldn't help them, similar to what we're seeing in New York right now?
Well, there's a bit of contrast in what we have been following here, because let's say that the majority of people here, they that passed away, they were, you know, over 70 or something, and most of them, they had progressive disease, so of any kind. And of course, they were very badly hit, and at the first infection, they could not be saved because their breath did not help at all, even using the ventilators. So let's say that as far as these very elderly people concerned, yes, it was very rare the case that they could be saved. But now the escalation is beginning on younger people too. People who do serve the hospitals and servicing nurses or doctors of very young age. Let's say 40, 50, etc. And even children now is some of the very young boys are being taken away by this virus. So I mean, we have a very good health system, national health system, and they've done and they're still doing the best they can. I doubt that people have passed away because of non-care. This is excluded, really. We are reputed to be one of the best health system in Europe, and it's free for everybody. I mean, we pay taxes to get it, but but we don't need an insurance like it is in USA. That's what I mean. I mean, a foreigner a tourist who's coming to Italy and needs hospitalization is, if he is from Europe, he gets the free treatment because under the national health of Europe. Others are still getting a free treatment. So I would say that the situation is very much under control now. And in this respect, some studies are being made to obtain the medicaments for the cure of the virus. One of the latest is taken from the plasma of the blood of those who have been through the virus, and this is a very important finding, because it's very much promising. They've been inoculated. Some people who already started have been infected. They've been inoculated with the plasma, and they're obtaining quite a good success. But of course, it is far from being given to to a vast number of sick people. Others, of course, I mean, they're among the about 30 pharmaceutical companies or researchers who are looking into a medicament. Two, has been said by our Ministry of Health. Two of them are from Italy. So let's say that Italy should be the one who leads the research and to fight this virus.
Now, Mario, I'm looking at some other numbers, and this is what is, at least people tell us here, what is so important, and is to get tested. Because if you don't get tested, you don't know if you have the virus, you don't know if you're immune against the virus, and you don't know whether you spread the virus. So this is kind of a key factor, is for get people tested. And Italy doesn't look that bad in the number of tests. And I wanted to give just maybe some data here, what is quite interesting, I think. And these are not the numbers of tests. The United States is leading in the number of tests because we have so many people. But we're not leading in the number of tests per million population. Actually, who's leading right now in the world is Iceland with 84,957 people tested per million. And then half of this in the ranges like Luxembourg with 41,059, Bahrain with 28,023, Malta goes down to 24,738, Norway 21,009, Switzerland 19,000, then down by San Marino, Qatar, Slovenia, Greenland, Hong Kong has 12,900, Israel 12,600, and then Italy comes with 12,495. So you're kind of in the center here, because if we go down the number, then Germany is at 10,962. Korea, who always claimed we are testing everyone, is really only at 8,996. Spain, where the epicenter is of the virus so far, is only at 7,593. And our country here, where I'm calling from, the United States, is only at 6,078. So we're not that far. I guess we're better than Papua New Guinea with only 8, or Mozambique with only 12. But how is the situation? Did you ever get tested? Are people getting tested in Italy?
No, this is a point which is being organized, something which has been organized by the Ministry of Health, because you see we know we got numbers given by people who have been caught in the disease, but it is said that there are hundreds of thousands of people who are carry the disease and they don't know. So the how do you call the healthy infection? I mean, healthy infected, and these people. I mean, this number of people it could outbreak suddenly, and when the situation will improve with regard of those who are now under control, we will. I mean, anyone could be fall sick without knowing to have it. So it's now there is now a law which is going to pass that slowly the population will be checked. But you see, the one point is that so many people have been reporting sick and fleeing to hospitals, and the hospital were, of course, unable to handle everybody, and not everybody has had the taste. They've been, okay, you have no temperature, you have no cough, go home and stay 14 days indoor. So this was the first suggestion, and of course, if this person slowly developed the virus, he infected everybody else in the house, because how can you live? I mean, not everybody lives in a posh apartment with a number of rooms that can afford to close him, to lock himself inside, away from the family. So this is something which is being looked into, trying to test everybody slowly, of course, because we have so many. But one other point is that in the big cities of Rome, Milan, Turin, etc., the situation is handled properly because there are hospitals and camp hospitals. Those have been built recently. But in the southern area of Italy, this is a very bad situation. These people the health down there is very disorganized. From below Naples to Sicily, the whole strip of this geographical area is unable to face an outbreak of illness. It's already handling it, because as I said before, a number of people from the north rushed to the south when the north was declared a red zone, and they brought the virus down there. And the hospitals there are not they have no capacity, and they're not equipped with the instruments. I would say that some of these areas are a bit, I would say, they got the money to buy things, but they don't do it. They don't spend it for the purpose.
Right.
I
And
don't go any farther into it. I don't do it.
I mean, if you look at the number, I'm seeing it here per country, and it looks like the world champion, unfortunately, sad world champion of countries having this virus is the Republic of San Marino, what is technically, you know, a mirror of northern Italy because it's located right by Rimini. So it gives you the, you know, the idea about how severe this virus is. Just to look at the numbers, the total cases, and I know that per population, and this is per million population, they don't have, but percentage-wise, it's based on 8,164 people in San Marino compared to Italy, only 2,243. So in other words, you can probably translate it, northern Italy is 8,164, while southern Italy only has about a quarter or even less than a quarter because it's an average than the number in northern Italy. Is that pretty much how it is?
I mean, in such a small state within the state, San Marino, I mean, the population is not really big, and the chance that if one is infected can easily infect others much easier than it is in another area of Italy, because you see, these people, they consider themselves lucky of living in a small place up in the mountain, which San Marino is a hill, really, and they say, okay, we are safe here, and we are not going to be caught by all this, and etc. As well as the Vatican City. I mean, Vatican City also is in the record of being, you know, such a small population. There's only 2,000, I think, 2,000 people who are less than 2,000 people living within the Vatican City. I mean, they are all prelates, of course, but even then, the Vatican City is reputed to be badly hit.
Right.
Although being such a small population.
Right. No, I didn't. Of course, Mario, I know San Marino. I've been there. It's quite small, and it's not about San Marino, but San Marino is located in northern Italy, what was kind of the epicenter, the original epicenter in Italy of cases. So I was just trying to convert this. So if this is the situation in San Marino, can you not assume it's kind of the same situation in Milan or Venice or in other parts in northern Italy?
Well, the situation in another outside this small areas like San Marino, as you mentioned, it's much easier to spread the contact, because people don't observe the rule of wearing a face mask. They don't observe the rule of lining up for, you know, in a market, the distance proposed at 1 meter or 2 meters away, one from the other. You know, all these precautions are not controlled. And now we have very severe control by the police, and there's who do find people who are not observing the rules. In Milan, the mayor of Milan has asked the population to wear a face mask, even walking in the street, which was before avoided. You know, people would wear a mask who's lucky to have one. Just when walking into a supermarket or into a public place, very, very few places open. So now it is imposed, and heavy fines are given to the transgressor. The Milan mayor has been acting very, very, very strictly, and of course it is correct, because if we all observe the rules, it makes the fight improve. Another point regards the public places. Everything is shut down. Everything is shut down. Not to make a list of those who are shut down, I can tell you those who are open is food places for food supply, some tobacco shops, because they serve also as a post office. You know, you can pay a bill for your telephone, etc. Some hydraulic, because it is considered of a public convenience. Very few activities are open. The opticians are open. So only very few categories which are considered of public necessity. So this is throughout the country, from north to extreme south.
And that's basically the same in many parts of the world. I can tell you here in Hawaii, it's exactly the same, Mario. Our main shopping centers are all closed. You only have grocery stores, supermarkets that are open, that are controlled. There are only so many people that are allowed to go in. There are lines at the cash register, 2 meters, apart. So I think we're all in the same boat. Now, when it comes to the mask, I know from what I understand, Italy also has a problem providing masks for everyone. I mean, I have tried to buy a mask here in Hawaii for the last, since I ever got back from Germany. This was about a month ago now, and there aren't any. No matter who you call, and even if you call a medical supply store, they laugh at you if you wanted to have the mask. So people are doing their own masks. They're using scarves. And actually what I'm using, and I think it's wonderful, you know, when you go on airlines, and if you're lucky enough to go business class, or sometimes improved economy, you get an eye mask. And so I've been using my eye mask for face mask, and it works wonderfully. Now, how's this in Italy? Does everyone have a mask now? A real medical mask?
Well, not a medical one. Some people get, I don't know how they got this medical map. Others, they use a very simple one. Some masks which are used for dust. You know,
right.
They use this thinking that it can help. I don't know how much it helps really, because the material is not thick enough to protect from a virus. Maybe it can protect from a dust, because the dust sticks on the material, but the virus doesn't do that. The virus sticks on the material, and once it's there, the one who wears the mask, you can breathe it, and that's it. But so many companies doing different business, they've now turned into this very special or very particular production of masks. Tailors, tie makers, anyone doing minor works, etc. They turned their activity into producing masks.
Now, what you said something very interesting here, and I wanted to just ask you if you had some feedback. And you said on homemade masks, like for instance the eye protector or scarves, and you're right. The virus, if the virus, and I'm definitely not a doctor here, but if the virus is in the air, because these are particles that are flying in the air, and they would hit your homemade mask, they stick on this mask. That means instead of protecting it, does it mean it may actually infect you easier if you wear these type of masks?
Right. This is the problem that can everybody risk to breathe whatever somebody else has left in the air, because as we have learned from the doctors, the droplets stay there for some time. The heavy one drops down on the floor, but the smaller one, the droplets, they stay in the air for some time, and it's really dangerous because, say, if you go into a lift to your up floor, and somebody else before you enter the lift has been there and is sneezed. Well, if you enter even 5 minutes after, you're still bound to be infected. It is, this is a problem.
And you're absolutely right, Mario. I just wanted to remind our attendees that are attending this webinar directly. Feel free to raise your hand for questions. We do have a number of questions. Actually, they're not coming from our attendees here, but they're coming from our Facebook stream. Everyone can see us also on Facebook, but unfortunately, you cannot talk to us on Facebook. So I wanted to just go and read some of these questions because I don't want to feel that our Facebook participants, we abandon them. I also wanted to remind everyone, also those on Facebook, just go to buzz.travel, join us, join buzz.travel. It's absolutely free now. All fees are waived. And you can join not only this discussion, but many other interesting discussions in our new social media stream, specifically designed for travel industry professionals and those that wanted to travel. So let's go down the list, and I will watch out for anyone who's raising hands. And but in the meantime, from Facebook, and unfortunately, some of them didn't give me a name, so I'm just going to keep it anonymous. One is actually Alessandro. There is a name, Lupoli. It sounds like he might be from Italy. He says the Italian government has decided not to launch a large-scale testing system of the entire population. That is why percentage of people died from COVID-19 seems to be higher compared to other countries. What is your feedback on this, Mario?
I didn't quite get the question well. Can you
Okay, the gentleman Alessandro Lupoli was saying that the Italian government had decided not to launch a large-scale testing, and he blamed this decision that so many people passed away in Italy in the process of dealing with this virus.
Well, I would say that the government has done its best to protect everybody. I said before that the majority of the sick people were a certain age and they could not be helped at all. If he refers to people, younger people that passed away, this is very unfortunate. To rescue the life of those younger than 70 or 50. But unfortunately, this category, they've fallen sick, and just like they went without, within days, because they could not be helped at all. So
right.
I don't know. It's my opinion that there's been some controversies about the government behavior, but there's so many things to handle in such a short time. But we have to say that we've been updated every day at 6 o'clock. There's the bulletin that the Ministry of Health broadcast in TV, and the Prime Minister also intervened in informing the ongoings, etc. So they tried to do the best they could, and according to as for the Prime Minister, we just got yesterday the information that 400 billion euros are now ready to be distributed to small companies or larger companies who have been suffering from economic problems due to this coronavirus. Money also to families in need, money to people who have lost their job temporarily. So all this has been really a fight by our government. Also a fight with the European Union, because of course the European Union has been resistant in granting whatever it was asked for. But finally, the Prime Minister made it to obtain this money, not completely from the European Union anyway.
Yeah,
So,
and that is probably kind of the feedback I'm getting, and I think many of our listeners and I personally agree the testing is interesting, and it's not interesting, it is necessary. David from Krakow in Poland actually writes, he's on our Facebook. In Poland, we have one of the lowest testing rates within the EU. And in Poland, I looked it up, 2,437 people per million were tested compared to Italy with almost 13,000. So I guess that is a valid statement. Bulgaria is a little bit, and Romania even lower than Poland. And which means what David says, that our statistics are totally untrustworthy. The only defense we have now is to get tested. Therefore, government should place more emphasis on this matter. And I think that is something we all can agree to, Mario, can we?
Well, Italy is the Ministry of Health are planning to test everybody, and once the vaccine is found, everybody should be compulsory vaccinated. Let's say every year at fall, during fall time, the elderly are invited to have a vaccine, for the flu, etc. But this time the vaccine would be for the coronavirus, provided that it comes in time within within the date of vaccination, which is from October to January, in order to be safe against any form of flu or epidemic or pandemic or whatever. So I agree that everybody should be tested, but it's impossible. Really, it's impossible, because some maybe in the north they're doing something more, but in the central area up to the south is difficult because they don't have the sticks, they don't have the medicine, they don't have anything to in order to conduct this precaution measures. But I don't know. Maybe they will come up also with this. And lots of money now is coming in for the to help the economy, and maybe some of it can be diverted to the health area. We have no news regarding when this is going to end.
No, that's perfectly true. Now, I just wanted to give Vincent Mugaba, I believe, the microphone. So let me unmute Vincent. He had a question. Welcome, Vincent. Vincent, can you hear us? Oh, I have to, hang on. More. He's unmuted, but I think your microphone, Vincent, is, okay, there we go. I'm trying to click on unmute, so we have technical things here. I click on unmute, but it doesn't let me. Okay, Vincent, can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Wonderful,
You hear me
welcome.
now?
We can hear you fine now, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Vincent from Kampala in Uganda. And I agree with the fact about Kampala in Uganda. I agree about us in the developing world. It's way too expensive. And what the government in Uganda has decided to do is to put more money in sensitization and education of the people. Then also tracking whoever is infected and the people they have had in contact. And at the moment, it has worked well for us, saving money that would have been spent on testing. Yes, it's important to test, but we don't have enough to do everyone else or treating those. At this moment, since March 20th, when the first case was noticed, we have 55 cases and no death at the moment. And most of the cases have been travelers coming into the country. So yes, testing, again, I may say is important, but may not be possible for the developing world. Then just one request, I wanted to know, is there a site, I wanted in many ways just to keep encouraging people by sharing photos from my country. Is there a way we can keep encouraging health workers and other people in Italy, in Spain, somebody can share maybe a flower, can share a photo of some different place, just to cheer up everyone else. Thank you.
It's a wonderful idea, Vincent. And I think if I remember correctly, you're running an organization, Red Rock, is that correct?
No, Crazy Outdoors.
Crazy Outdoor. I know, I was trying to put you together. I think we had some interaction before from Uganda with you.
Yes.
I can tell you just before this call, I finished a call we had from the African Tourism Board, a new COVID crisis meeting. And exactly what you're saying, education is big on our agenda. I would welcome for you to participate, yes, and maybe be listening in as an observer at our next meeting next week, Tuesday, where we deal directly with Africa. And we have people, the gentleman who leads this committee is Dr. Taleb Rifai, who was the former Secretary General for the United Nations World Tourism Organization. So we would welcome very much to get your input also on that forum. And if you send me an email after this event, let me know and I'll be happy to send you an invitation. But absolutely, cheering up people, give confidence to people is definitely something we all need. I think every one of us must be in a state of depression, and we don't really know what the future is bringing us. It is a situation the entire world is facing. We have one common enemy, and it can only be hoped when we get out of this, and I know we will get out of it, that this world is actually coming together in a better way. And it could be a fast track to peace. That's what I'm hoping. But unfortunately, it could also be a fast track to a lot worse. So let's pray and hope we can make the best out of this situation. We all get away, and it is very important, specifically, I think, for countries in Africa like Uganda to stay isolated at this time. It is hard for the economy. It's devastating for tourism. But the more we respect the law of nature, and this is what it is, the better we're off and the faster we get out of this situation. And we're pretty much coming. Is there any more questions we would welcome?
I think I've got somebody on the screen, Federico Geremei. He's a colleague from Rome. I don't know, should I do you action from there, or do I?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Federico? Hello? Federico? Hello, Federico? No, he doesn't reply to me.
Okay, but we can have Federico back on one of our future talk shows.
There are also 13 participants here signed on my line. Are there
Yes.
13 people on the line to talk or what? Asking questions?
Yeah, anyone, we see the same thing here, Mario. We have 13 people on this forum and we have quite a bit more on Facebook. And what we do, we're going to have a recording of our session today after this on YouTube, and we're also going to circulate it on eTurboNews. And anyone else from the media joining us, feel free to circulate it as well. These are all important information, and we all have to stay on top of it. Our next event is next Tuesday. So we do this once a week, and hopefully we're getting even more people interested in our next event. We will promote this event starting immediately after this. And Mario, it was really a pleasure having you on board, and I know how involved you are in gathering news in Rome, and how proud you must be as an Italian that Italian is facing, and it looks like it's handling this enormous crisis the country was put into. Maybe before we close, I would love to get just a little bit of feedback, if we still have 2 minutes, in regards to foreign help. I know there was a controversy with help from Cuba specifically. The United States, of course, has embargoes against Cuba. It's a hot issue. But tell me, what did the Cubans do in Italy?
What is the Cuban?
What did the Cuba do in Italy?
Oh, what did Cuba do? I mean, well, there are not so many, to my knowledge, but they work. I know a few who works in the catering business, some others in the department stores, but I don't know many. I've been invited by the Cuba embassy for some events in the ambassador's residence, and I met quite a number of people, but some of them are in a FAO, food organization, in a World Food Organization. Some others are the part of the embassy, but I didn't meet many more besides those I met at the embassy of Cuba. Yeah, but
okay.
they are jolly people. You know, they for them is the big smile all the time.
and that's a good thing. And Cuba has stand up, because I know some of the frustration in Italy from joining the press was actually with fellow Europeans, who some in Italy said did not stand up to help Italians in the way they were hoping. But I know every country in Italy, in Europe is going through a similar phase right now. So it is very difficult to do this. And Cuba is lucky enough to have very small and very small infection. Well, one very last question is coming in on Facebook, and then we can close our meeting for today. And I don't know if you have the answer, but I will read it to you. It's from Katerina Avestian, and I probably pronounced her last name incorrect, I'm sorry. But she was asking, do you think it is safe to go to the supermarket in this situation?
Well, of course it is very safe, provided that one wear a face mask and wear gloves, because you know, if someone wants to select some food which are on the stalls, he has to wear, or he or she has to wear a glove, because touching something and then leaving there without a glove, it means you may leave some of your fingerprints, humidity on that fruit or on a packet of something that you're touching. And of course, this must not be done. Everybody needs to wear gloves also in the market. But it is very safe, very safe. I do go whenever I need to, to get my supplies for the week, and I take all these precautions. Besides this, there's no crowd in the supermarkets, because they allow only 4 to 5 people at a time. You know, the number goes out and the number comes in, lining up, and this is very safe, Katerina.
Okay.
Very safe, Katerina. You can go shop you can shop very with confidence.
Okay, wonderful. And you're not working for a supermarket, so you're not advertising. So we
No,
know
I'm
this.
not
So
advertising.
we value your honest opinion, Mario. Thank you so much again, and thank you everyone for attending. Please again go to buzz.travel, www.buzz.travel, and sign up to become one of us and join our community. Aloha from Hawaii. Arrivederci, Mario.
Thank
And
you.
ciao, our technical team in the background from Spain. Hope to talk to you again in a week.
I'm so sorry for this inconvenience, and I apologize also for the to the listener. And this is a big problem. I cannot forgive myself.
No, that's fine. We have your picture up on the invitation. We all know how you look like, and I know Mario is one of the most active people I know. I never forget the time when we went to this trade show in Milan, and you said, let's have a pizza, and I said, so how far do we have to go, because we're walking all day? And Mario said, it's not far at all, and we're going for miles and miles and left and right. I tried to catch up with you, Mario, and you're an amazing guy. Gracias, and I see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jürgen. Bye-bye.